Rather stunning admission in Kamala's new book. She writes that post-election surveys found Biden voters in 2020 who declined to back her cited ending Israel's violence in Gaza as their leading reason above the economy, immigration, or abortion. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no. Bro, if it's actually true that this is what got the Democrats to lose, you realize I'm going to never let these tanky fucks hear the end of it, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I want to see the book. Where is it? Give me the book. Kamala Harris. What? The most problematic group is men. Based? Okay. Harris, new book called 107 Days. Where am I going to get that? PDF? Okay. Will this work? Can I read this online? Yeah. Okay, we got us a book. Oh, it's gonna be quite hard to word search this. What does download do? Can you download it as a PDF? What does EPUB do? How does that open? Gosh, it goes into a WordPad. Fuck that. Amazon, she needs your money. I'm sure she does. This fucking crime stat thing isn't loading yet. It's still fucked. Okay, fucking DHS numbers. Let's see. This viewing tool. I'm reading EPUB now, but it's not letting me do a word search across the entire text. That's crazy. That's weird. Oh, this is data for charges. Thank you. Research brief. Mental health. Does this break it up politically? No, it doesn't. This is to do with federal terrorism charges. Okay. What do we have here? Yeah, what's the best thing to do with an EPUB file to make it more readable? Because I don't think this is going to let me do a Control F across the entire text. Calibre, convert to PDF. How? What? Oh wait, what's this? Settings? Oh, dark mode. Okay. Oh, that's one help. Okay, let me see. Okay, convert EPUB to PDF. Buckle up, we're reading it all. I guess we have no choice. It's just overall, I'll try to clean up the table. So, okay, yeah. No, I think we got it. I think we got it here. Okay, download. Okay, thank you. Okay, that's a... Wait, what? Okay. What is going on here? So what's the claim in that tweet? Israel's violence in Gaza. Seems like it's a direct quote. Bah! No matches found. Let's just put Gaza. 25 mentions. Joe was already polling badly on the age issue, with roughly 75% of voters saying he was too old. Then he starts taking water on the perceived blank check to Netanyahu. It wasn't a blank check, though. They had, whatever, perceived, good word. Gave a strong speech in the crisis in Gaza. Netanyahu denied Gazans were starving and blamed Hamas for losing food. I interrupted to reiterate the need for an immediate ceasefire. Day after plan. Political horizon. Okay. Lots of Netanyahu shit here. That's interesting. This might be worth reading. The whole thing. It's this bit. For any enduring peace, we have to let go of extreme rhetoric on both sides. The war in Gaza is not a binary issue, but too often the conversation about it is. I wanted to acknowledge the complexity, nuance, and history of the region, but it seemed very few people had the appetite for that or the willingness to hold two tragic narratives in their mind at the same time, to grieve for human suffering, both Israeli and Palestinian. Loud voices on either side claimed there were no innocents on the other, a position I found inhuman. And I know Secretary of State Tony Blinken, who was tirelessly hauling himself from Jerusalem to Doha to DC, sincerely wanted to end the suffering on all sides. Right from the beginning of the campaign, protesters who thought we hadn't done enough for Gazans tried to disrupt my rallies. I was born amid dissent. Civil rights were won through protest. My parents took me to demonstrations when I was still in my stroller. The people at my rallies had every right to do what they were doing. I understood them. I understood why they were angry. Usually the crowd drowned them out, and when I went on with the business of my speech. But at a rally in Detroit, I was detailing Trump's threats to climate policy and Affordable Care Act. A noisy crowd chanted, "Kamala, Kamala, you can't hide, we won't vote for genocide." The threat to withhold their vote got to me. It felt reckless. Either Trump or I would be elected. The issue was not binary, but the outcome of the election certainly was. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Otherwise, I'm speaking. Ooh, Queen. Why weren't they protesting at Trump rallies? I wondered. I wish they would understand that sitting out the election or voting a third candidate would elect Trump and kill any effort for a just peace, any hope for a two-state solution. I wrapped up that unproductive meeting with Netanyahu in under an hour and walked out to address the press. I sincerely reaffirmed my commitment to Israel's right to defend itself. I added that how Israel did that mattered. I said that Hamas triggered the war when it massacred 120,000 innocent people, committed horrific acts of sexual violence. Oh no! I listed by name the 5 American hostages still living and the 3 whose remains were still held by Hamas. Then I told the press that I had discussed with the Prime Minister the dire situation of innocent civilians in Gaza. I described the agonizing images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time, I said. We cannot look away from the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent. I described our discussions on the proposed ceasefire. To everyone who's been calling for a ceasefire and to everyone who yearns for peace, I see you and I hear you. Let's get the deal done. 2 weeks. Handling attacks he'd confronted on Gaza, enthusiasm, protests, genocide Josh. Oh, that's Josh Shapiro. Okay. Oh, she's talking a lot about Gaza here, eh? Hecklers. Israeli strike, killed 80 people. Protests outside. The DNC, okay. The section of my speech dealing with the Gaza war had a lot riding on it. As David von Drail wrote in the Washington Post, it was the rockiest, most perilous passage. Her 5.0 degree of difficulty straddle on the war in Gaza. She charged right in and defended Israel. Just as it felt as though the room might split, she affirmed the humanity and suffering of Palestinians. She then moved on to a peroration on the subject that everyone was able to cheer for. Behold, she had her boat through the impossible strait. Pod Save America, Confidence, Sight to Behold, Philadelphia, Black Journalists, no reoccupation of Gaza. Well, not under Harris anyway, potentially. No changing of territorial lines. Wait, what's this? Wait, oh, we got the fucking right-wingers. Okay. Oh, okay, wait, so I believe that I've just been lied to. Let's see. Okay, let's see. It was devastating to learn that after the election that I lost some ground with voters under 30, especially young men. Pundits speak about the bro vote, the frat boy flank. I don't think of them in those reductive terms. Instead, I think about these young voters coming of age during COVID, naturally isolated, their lives lonely when they should have been at their most social. At the very moment their world should have been widening, it had contracted. For some, the voices that filled the void belonged to Andrew Tate, Myron Gaines, and others who grab attention with get-rich or fitness content, then deliver arguments that feminism is damaging to masculinity and women need to know their place. Man, they do. They witness our space. Shit. Polling revealed that many of these young voters didn't feel they knew me. And contrary to some predictions, they did not vote primarily on reproductive rights or Gaza or climate change. They voted on their perceived economic interests. In a post-election study conducted by Tufts University, 40% put the economy and jobs as their top issue. The next priority was abortion, 13%. Climate change was a top issue for 8%. Foreign policy, including Gaza, 4. That's page 157. Remember that, guys. 157. 157. 157. Control F Lonerbox. Shut up. Die. Can we grab the Tufts survey? You want? Who's she talking about here? Is this about MBS? 19 days to the election. Gaza protesters held signs saying "Killer Kamala." Fuck me. Dude. Primary interjectors were Gaza protesters. Trump supporters began turning to disrupt as the election drew closer. It's a democracy. Joe was already polling badly on the aid issue. Oh, so what was the purpose of this tweet? Stunning admission. She writes that post-election surveys found Biden voters in 2020 who declined to back her, cited ending Israel's Biden voters. Where's that coming from? Where's that? I don't see Biden voters from 2020 in there. Biden voters. Is it not? It's not a direct quote, even though it's in quotations, huh? Yeah, but I'm looking for where the 2020 thing is. 2020 election stolen. Jezebel. Nice one. Well done, America. Well done, boys. Arizona. It's all about January 6th, 2020. Huh. Where's the thing about Biden voters? Huh? Is it not there? There's lots of mentions of Biden, obviously. Israel, maybe that. Campaigning, governing, Israel, aid. It was Ynet that's saying it. Israel security. As a young girl, I carried around a little blue box for the Jewish National Fund soliciting support to plant trees in Israel. Shit. Funny. Okay. Biden voters wasn't in quotes. This part's not here either. Ending Israel's violence in Gaza. That's not in quotes either. That's not here. I can't see that. I'm looking through all of the Israel and Gaza mentions now. Value Israel as democracy and an ally. Denial of fucking aid. Okay. I'd been on almost every phone call between the president and Netanyahu since October 7th. Well, not the Hassan Piker phone call. Go to her second tweet. What? Monica Marks. This one. She said that Biden's response to Gaza was inadequate. Had pleaded with Joe, extend the same empathy, disagreements. Maybe this article tells you something about polling? Fuck you, man. Get out of here. Dick. Where's the 2020 thing? Oh, she writes that Biden's unpopularity hurt her in 2024. One of the reasons was because of Biden's perceived blank check. She does mention that, but that's not from polling. That's not from polling. What the 2020? Nothing about their voters. Gaza? Significant portions addressing Gaza. God, those protesters really got under her skin, didn't they? I guess they would. She says that the Gaza protests factored into her decision when she picked a running mate last year because of his takes on Gaza. Okay. He wrote an opinion piece saying that people in Palestine are too battle-minded. Yeah, it would have been a pretty bad strategy. She writes that there was some bitterness that we had not given a speaking slot to Palestinian spokesperson at the DNC, but says she knew the section of my speech dealing with the Gaza war had a lot riding on it. I mean, it's just like it's like the perfect fucking instruction manual for how to fuck your own side on an issue with what they were doing. But that should be obvious, all right? Like, unless you're mental. When the Israel Prime Minister, due to my ceremonial office, okay. Yeah, where is this proven? Where is this polling? They said polling data, didn't they? Posters of hostages are being torn down in New York City. Crazy. Complexity, nuance, right to defend itself. It mattered. Iran, Israel, Israeli allies. Huh. Sirens over Israel. 60 Minutes interview. Asks if we have a reliable ally in Netanyahu. Should be between American and Israeli people. Clever dodge. Good. Photos. I don't see the quote there. Let's look at this poll. Am I right that none of those mentions supported this statement? Post-election surveys. Biden voters in 2020. Where did she say that? Huh. Polling revealed. This is about young voters. Okay, what's the Tufts? Tufts University post-election study. Okay, Tufts University. Post-election USA survey. The youth vote in 2024. Did they not have a study on all of it? They only did the youth vote? Where's the 2020 Biden voters? I ain't seeing it. Yeah. It was in the Ynet article. Bro, we have the entire book in front of us. Now we trust Israeli media. I see. Okay. This isn't in the book though. I can't see it. Where is it? Post-election surveys. Maybe there's like a different word mentioned that links you to it, because that's not a direct quote. This bit in quotations is not here. Post-election. There's one post-election mention. None like that. Just election. Exit. Oh, look at poll. Lots of polls. Negligible effect on polling. What's that one? Saturday Night Live. Okay. Polls, poll numbers, Seltzer. Fucking Seltzer. Didn't Trump try to sue them because he didn't like the fucking findings? Dude, they were very off, but I don't think you can sue someone for having an off poll. Seems weird. Pollsters. Pollster. Polls. This is the only one close to it. He starts taking water But this is Biden in particular. She was getting more popular. Yeah, where is this post-election poll that they're talking about? Does it even exist? I feel like if that poll existed, you would see it, unless she saw a secret poll. This is all youth. This is just this. This is the only post-election poll she's mentioned in the book, it seems, unless there's one that I missed. Try survey. Did I not try survey? Survey. Survey delegates? No. Study? California ballot. Study. Study space travel. Study economics. Where is it? Where's the fucking 4% Gaza thing? Foreign policy. Cost of living, inflation. Top issues for youth. Try searching ending Israel's violence in Gaza. Believe it or not, buddy, we have. If I put ending, there's 5 mentions of ending. 36, sorry. If I put ending Israel, there's nothing. Violence in Gaza? Nothing. Violence, 13 mentions. A poll in the Discord that matches the ending violence language. Biden voters who did not vote for Harris. Top lines. This will be the survey that we're talking about. Okay. And this is for the demographic who voted for Biden in 2020, but then they cast a ballot for someone besides Kamala in 2024. So this isn't abstentions. This is people who voted elsewhere. Is that like Jill Stein voters then? Played a key role in battleground states as well. Flipped from Biden to Trump. Across 6 battleground states that flipped from Biden to Trump, 20% of these voters said ending Israel's violence in Gaza was their top issue for deciding not to vote for Harris. The second was the economy. So fucking sickening, man. Would have been more likely if she pledged to break from Biden's policy towards Gaza by promising to withhold additional weapons. Among Biden 2020 voters who did not vote for Harris, 53 say Biden's support for Israel was too much, 6 who said not enough. 39 say Harris's support for Israel was too much, versus 10% who had said not enough. How old is this poll? I do hope people like Teuton don't think this vindicates them, right? Because to me, this means that these guys they threw it over this one issue. So Dan was right. What, the single issue Dan? Okay, shut up. This is from January 2025. This poll's been around for a while. It's surprising no one else has seen it until now that I've noticed. Gaza. What's this though? This is mad. They were asked if she had pledged to break from Biden's policy towards Gaza by promising to withhold additional weapons. Would that have made you more or less likely to vote for Harris? 36 said more likely. 54 said makes no difference. And remember, this is like a chunk of voters that's the Biden 2020 who are not voting Harris 2022, 24. Makes no difference, dude. What the fuck? The wording of the poll is weird as well, yeah. Withhold additional weapons for committing human rights abuses. So I guess it's just saying like they're assuming everyone believes it's like that's what each weapon's for. That's actually not that bad a question. If Harris broke from Biden on the following issues, and where is it? Immigration, inflation, weapons to Israel was 34%. But even the economy and immigration is still high as well. Where is the finished, the Tufts poll though? Explore the full data? Post-election youth poll. Where's the 4%? Or foreign policy. Young people who did not vote were more likely to prioritize. Oh, this is non-voters. But where were the youth who actually voted? What did she say in the book again? Economic interests, post-election study, 40%. And this is youths who voted Trump. Is that what they're saying? This is all youth. Where did they get the 40% from? Young men were more likely than women to prioritize economic issues like jobs and inflation, as well as immigration and foreign policy. Oh, this is for, let's just go, where's all youth? Why can I not get fucking all youth, dick? Bro, that's horrible. So we have non-voters and we can break it down by demographics of each of the youth, but we can't look at all the youth? Why not? Economic concerns were the top priority for youth who cast a ballot. Okay, this might show you. I see. This is a very freezy website, I see. Okay. The youth vote, 2024. Holy shit. Oh, God. Economy was the top youth issue, drove youth to vote Trump. Why is the collapsible? Okay. Oh, here, this is it. This is it. Young voters. Okay. I see. Are we going to get to the autumn stuff at all? Probably not today. There's new stuff here. Kamala post election polling. Okay. Okay. Youth, young voters, 2024 priorities in 2024. Oh, they have all voters here as well. Huh. It gives you both. Hey, it's about the same. Okay. That's a pretty good shortcut. Economy. 39%. Let's do it as numbers. One. Economy. Wow. 39%. Let's do all of these. 2. Abortion. 11%. Immigration. Oh, wait. For the youth, it was different, though. Immigration. 21%. Abortion. 11. What's this one going to be? Healthcare. The rest are all the same on the way down, right? Yeah, healthcare. 8%. Climate change. 7%. Crime. 4. Gun policy. 3%. No, 4. Racism. 4%. Racism against whites. Why is that not a separate category? 3. That's word priorities in 2024. Tufts. That's very frustrating. And then we're talking about Biden non-Harris voters. 604 voters. This is quite an interesting survey because it's got very sort of interesting results depending on which one you look at. Okay, IMEU survey. Biden non-Harris sample. 101% based. Rounding error. Get fucked. Now where's the voting change? Yeah, because the way that you look at this, it can vary. The result isn't as simple as it looks at first glance. Like this one here says, if Kamala broke with Biden's policy towards Gaza, promised to withhold additional weapons, would have made you more or less likely. This is where you're saying like, okay. Let's just say, question, if Kamala pledged to break from Biden's policy by promising to withhold additional weapons to Israel, would you be more or less likely to vote Harris, or would it not make any difference? 36% more likely, 36% less likely, be like 10, right? 10% makes no difference. 54 totals 100. Oh yeah, okay, whatever. Like that's a really weird response, especially if they're saying if Kamala had pledged to break from Biden's policy on the following issues, would it have made you more or less likely to vote? And they're most of them say makes no difference. For this one, it's more of them are saying inflation. Equal numbers say immigration. What the fuck did they want? That's the thing. It seems that a lot of them were, it seems like most of them were off of the Democrats anyway. No? They were either going to not vote for whatever reason, or they'd gone to Trump. That's what I'm kind of getting from this, but we'll see. Unless I'm misinterpreting something. If Harris pledged to break with Biden, or they were just doomer left, right? Policy on the following issues, would it have made you affected your vote or likelihood to vote for Harris? I'll put this in order because it should be in order. Inflation, 36% more likely, 11 less likely, 55% no difference. Then it was weapons to Israel. 34% more likely. 17 less likely. 49 no difference. Supporting Ukraine in the Russia-Ukraine war. Wait, if she changed policy on... That's mad. What was that? What are just the other two of them? So federal budget deficit. 28% more likely. 7% less likely. 65 no difference. Then the last one would be... Oh, healthcare was 37. There's two that were above here. Healthcare. 37%. But people saying inflation, I don't know, would a Democrat say that I'm not going to vote for Harris because of inflation policy if she carries on Biden's? This sounds like something a right-winger would say. But this, healthcare, sounds like something a left-winger would say. I don't know. Don't know how to make sense of that. Healthcare, more likely. 9% less likely. 55 no difference. So there's 37, 36, 34, 28. Okay. Where's the one where violence in Gaza is top? Where is that? The ones who did not vote for Harris in 2024, which one was most important? Okay, let's find that one. Most here. These are the ones who did vote. Oh, wait. Did some of them... it's people who didn't vote. Okay, so abstentions. So the majority of abstentions wasn't Gaza. The majority of vote changes were Gaza. Dude! Was the most important issue in deciding your decision not to vote for Harris? Asked of voters who did vote. Voted in 2024. Okay, this is the one where Gaza's top, right? Ending Israel's violence in Gaza, 29%. And then it's the economy, 24%. 12% Medicare and Social Security. 12%. Immigration, 11. 10% healthcare. Okay. 9% abortion. Let's go with the top 5. Okay. Now, just to make sure, this was people who... Oh, this includes voters people who didn't vote. No? Wait. No, not that one. This is people who voted for anyone, and also, this is full abstentions. Okay. Includes anyone who either voted for those who voted for anyone other than Harris or did not vote. Okay. What are our comments on that, you guys? Shit. 10 out of 10 me.